Hey, my name is Mahan, the CMO of Naron.
My name is Luca, I'm the CEO of Naron.
In this video series, we're going to be going over some of the most popular AI models out in the market right now. In this video, we'll be going over Claude. So, Luca, take it from there.
Sure, so one of my favorite models, essentially a group of OpenAI researchers ran away from OpenAI because they felt like they were not building these models as safe enough, and they went and started their own startup called Anthropic. Anthropic then started building their models to rival GPT 5.5 at the time, and they built the models that we know today, Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. And so what really sets them apart from ChatGPT, for example, that's backed by OpenAI, is that they built the corporation to be a public benefit corporation, not a for-profit or a non-profit, how OpenAI was. And they fundamentally have installed something called a constitutional AI, which essentially is at the pre-training level, which is the level that the model is still building on itself, they've implemented a constitution, sort of like an ethical constitution of what it's allowed to do or what it's not allowed to do. The difference is really that they're doing it at the pre-trained level. So think about it this way, at the most core fundamental way that the LLM is able to understand the world, the constitution is embedded into it. Rather than OpenAI, where the GPT 5.5 is done in the post-training session.
With a system prompt.
Exactly. So technically, it could be overridden. And what's really cool is that they're actually backed by another model provider, the model provider of Gemini, Google, and Amazon as well. So if we go into the timeline, in early 2023, the first sort of Claude 1 model came out, just about 4 months after ChatGPT came out. Very quickly, in the late end of 2023, they actually had a model that was able to digest some of the largest documents. At that time, the context window was 100K tokens. And then in the March of the following year, in 2024, that's when we start seeing the three models that we know now, Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. And it gave us that sort of three-tier system. And it's really in late 2024 that Sonnet 3.5 comes out, and that is a real turning point in the new era of coding agents. And just over a year ago, that's when the context windows expanded to have a 1 million token context window. And that really gave us the ability to have very long running tasks for the coding agents. And they could now start solving larger problems rather than just like little small point solutions, for example. In 2026, in the beginning of the year, we started seeing very big improvements in the models, going all the way up to 4.8 right now, where essentially the models can work for multiple hours, solving very big problems, checking on its work and iterating off of that. And so right now, we're in June 2026. Fable 5 came out about 2 weeks ago. It got taken off the market, and that's where we're at. We're at the crossroad waiting for Fable 5 to come out. It's essentially, and I've tried it, an amazing model for coding. And it has a lot of really good applications for agentic work and agentic ops.
And I think you just touched on something very important there, which is coding, which is something Claude is amazing at. So let's take a deep dive again. As mentioned before as well, most frontier models are very good at almost everything now, to a point where the average person is not really going to be able to tell the difference. But where does Claude actually shine compared to every other model?
Yeah, so you said it right there. Coding is really what Claude is best at, and mainly because it was one of the first models that shipped out a product that directly impacts coding. A lot of the coding tools that we used before were essentially huge wrappers, perhaps like Cursor or Windsurf, that used Claude behind the hood or used Codex behind the hood to actually do a lot of the coding. Then Claude Code came out, which was Claude's official coding product, which then you could use directly to code, which helped them gather all the data and gather all they helped them gather all the data that they needed to train and further improve the models. And so when we're thinking about long-running tasks, which typically happens in coding, when we're looking at reasoning, which all three are the fundamental pillars of coding, makes coding one of the best applications for Claude. Now, it's also very important to know that if you're really interested in safety or reliability, perhaps you're in the financial or healthcare industry, then Claude is a much more safer model to use in this case. Especially if you're looking at writing. Some people say that it's much better at creative writing. I don't know, you might know better.
I can attest to that for sure. And it goes back all the way to 2024 when I personally started using Claude. It was superior to anything else I'd used at the time.
For sure, and you might have stuck to it.
Yes.
And other models right now perhaps are better, maybe. But because you've spent the last year on Claude, you're probably still sticking on Claude.
Again, Claude is just one of the most popular models in the market right now. Their rise to global dominance, you could say, has really taken off in the last 18 months or so. Prior to that, a lot of people didn't know about Claude.
Yeah.
In future videos, we'll go through some of the other models that are having a big impact right now. Till then, guys, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can connect with us and get in touch directly through LinkedIn. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video.